Hi.
Hi there.
Hi, I'm soft-spoken Ryan Gosling.
Oh, no. Well, yeah, but see, I can see you. You have a facial expression. You have like a smile on your face.
No, I don't. I don't do anything.
This is when you're at your best.
Oh, when I'm just subdued beyond belief.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, welcome to another episode of Bored and Annoyed. I'm home with the movies.
And I'm Jackson. And this week we're bored and annoyed with Homb's favorite movies.
Yeah, one of my favorites, we're going to be discussing Drive.
Yes. So we're going to throw these in once in a while. We're going to alternate favorite movies that we watch. So this is the Drive edition, starring Ryan Gosling, Bryan Cranston, Albert Brooks. Ron Perlman.
Ron Perlman.
Yeah.
I was waiting for...
What's the girl's name?
Oh, gosh, I can't remember her name.
I don't think Ron Perlman's very good in this, by the way.
Oh, I think he's great.
Do you? Oh, yeah. See, I don't know.
I think he hams it up perfectly.
He just bothers me. He bothers the shit out of me in this.
Well, we'll get into that in the review.
Yeah. All right. Well, anyways, we'll start with news, though.
Bringing you the most important and the most entertaining news that you will get all day. It's the movie news with a couple of rabble-rousers, Jackson and Home at the Movies. It's Bored and Annoyed with the news.
First thing, Harry Styles has turned down the role of Prince Adam.
Reportedly. Yes.
Yeah. Well, did it come from the Hollywood Reporter or Vanity Fair?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Or Variety.
It's probably true.
Yeah, it's probably true. So, yeah, he turned it down for Little Mermaid.
Yeah. Well, he probably just doesn't want to deal with all the bullshit, maybe. I don't know. That was my first thought.
My thought was he probably doesn't want to be typecast.
Okay. Can he be typecast? He's Harry Styles. He's already typecast as like pop star, right?
Yeah, but he would be doing a lot of singing.
Okay.
He had that little role in Dunkirk.
Oh, yes, he did. That's right.
I think he wants to be an actor.
Okay, so he doesn't want to be in a musical. He's doing like the Zac Efron break from the musical thing.
I think so. That would be my guess.
Okay, that makes sense.
But it also makes sense why they would go for him, because they're like, we want a good singer.
Right.
So, good for you, Harry. Wish you all the best. You were fine in Dunkirk.
Yeah, I thought he was good in Dunkirk.
In a movie that I found rather unimpressive.
I was impressed. Highly impressed with Dunkirk. But let's move on.
Let's move on. Not in the mood.
Well, we got to, you got to stay, on task sometimes. We have trouble staying on task.
Yeah, it's true.
Right.
It's true. So The Hunt is canceled.
Yeah, so this story is interesting. So there were the shootings, and we won't get into those on this podcast. That's not really our place. But There was a film that was like a month away from being released. They were about to do a marketing blitz on it, The Hunt. And it seems, according to the synopsis, some rich elitist, apparently people think they're liberals. I don't think this is confirmed 100% yet. Mm-hmm. Basically kidnap a bunch of like red state Alabama, Mississippi folk and throw them out in like a Hunger Games type setting, but not in the future, and hunt them for sport. And in the wake of the shootings, some people got pissed about it. And they canceled it. They just outright canceled the movie. So what are your thoughts on that?
Well, context is everything. So apparently Trump had some thoughts about it. Apparently, I guess it was a right-wing backlash.
That's what it sounds like, yeah.
Yeah.
Which I don't really understand, but...
I go a little back and forth on this because it's like, Hollywood is always kind of self-censored to a certain degree. I also am not a fan of sort of stoking the societal flames at this point. I wouldn't mind seeing that movie.
It sounds interesting.
I just like the idea of man hunting man stories, period.
Yes.
I just think they're kind of cool stories. I
think it was like a Blumhouse movie or something. It has Hilary Swank in it. I forget who else is in it, but
it sounds like a Blumhouse movie.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a little, I get, what are we supposed to say? Different. It's the mob mentality once again,
Yeah, I am I am 100% like they're a bunch of douches for canceling this. That's my thought.
Okay.
I mean, we live in a free society. This shit, I mean, I'm sorry, but there's shit worse than this already that people can go do. I say you don't kowtow to this. I think you release the movie. But somebody's looking at a spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Somebody's has to think about the bottom line, I guess.
Right.
I find it interesting because it made me immediately think of that movie, The Interview, a few years ago.
Right.
With about Kim Jong and with Seth Rogen, and how that one got canceled from being put in theaters, but they still
released it on Netflix.
Yes. So yeah, maybe I think they should have maybe gone that route. I don't know. I just kind of wish I could see the movie, and I don't understand the right-wing backlash, because to me, it sounds to me like the plot would be like, oh, the right-wingers are like the good guys, and it's like a commentary on like liberal rich elitists, and you know what I'm saying? But maybe it can be seen both ways. Maybe it's actually like an interesting,
and maybe,
you know what I'm saying?
And maybe it was meant to be like, and I don't know, but maybe it was meant to be like a stress relief for the left and be like, yeah, fuck you and your gun loving ways or whatever.
Maybe.
I have no idea.
I just can't imagine you could make a movie like that and not make the hunters the villain characters.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, unless you really vilify these guys that are kidnapped.
It's just funny because, like, did anybody who was bitching about this stop to think like, oh yeah, this makes our point that they think we're a bunch of just, dumb scumbags, right? Deplorables. Yeah. Right. Apparently that's somewhere someone says they're deplorables. That's not in the trailer. I don't know if that's just some made up bullshit, but someone, the Hollywood Reporter or somebody released that's like a line in the movie. Mm-hmm. So if you're going that far, I suppose you're putting the politics of the movie out there, and maybe that's part of the problem. I don't know. I
don't know. Like I said, I'm just very, very tired of the ratcheting up of the temperature with people.
Yeah.
I mean, and, we talk about there is power in movies, like you were kind of saying it's just a movie, but there is power in movies.
I suppose.
Movies can move people to actually feel things and do things and learn things. If you're open to those kind of things, or if it makes your point and it makes you feel even more, vilified or victimized, it could push you even further over an edge that you were already close to.
I mean, I suppose that's true. I guess where I'm coming from on this one is like we live in essentially one of the most free societies on earth, I would say. There are things that are offensive that offend everyone every day, whether it be in print, in video games, in TV, and Netflix, and fucking movies. I would like to be able to see whatever an artist puts on screen, and if I think it's offensive, then I have the choice not to see it.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
But if the fear is, okay, someone's going to see this movie and then they're going to go grab someone and hunt them, I feel like they would have already done that, because now it's a bigger deal than it ever would have been if it was actually released.
I mean, it's one of those things where it's like if you were afraid of the political message of the thing, you should have dealt with it during its inception. Well,
and bad timing for them, right? I mean, two mass shootings like a month before this movie comes out.
Right.
Everybody on both sides of the aisle again are just pointing fingers at each other, calling each other assholes and dumbasses and whatever.
That's why literally nothing will be done about anything, because nobody can just.
I shouldn't be laughing. It's depressing, but
it's just.
But at some point, it just becomes like it almost becomes like satire. Of it's like you're just it's just a joke. So it's like what the comedian would say from The Watchmen.
Yep.
But yeah, anyways, that's an interesting tidbit, I guess.
That was an interesting little I don't know. Just a little notch in the belt of society just crumbling a little bit.
Yeah.
More signs of society crumbling.
Uh-oh.
We might be getting an Aladdin sequel.
Okay. And your thoughts on this? Aren't you excited?
Terrible. It's fucking terrible.
Oh man.
Are
they just going to do a straight up Return of Jafar?
This is the worst.
The original movie had a shitty sequel.
This is the worst news of the day.
Oh, really? the worst news of the day. Yeah,
Yes.
movie related.
Yeah,
There's gotta
movie
be some
related.
worse
Oh, I'm
news.
sure that there's something awful that
Yeah,
happened
something
somewhere.
awful happened for sure.
But yeah, as far as the news that we cover, this is the worst.
Right, I would agree.
I don't want it. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, I mean,
I'm sorry. Return of Jafar is
It's a disaster.
It's not a good movie.
and the third one was terrible too. Prince of Thieves.
I
or
know that it
whatever.
was supposed to be slightly better, but I also haven't seen it since I was like 14 or something. So can't really judge it.
But the movie made money. Speaking of movies that make money spawning sequels that are unnecessary, we have another one, don't we?
Right.
Yeah, the John Cho vehicle Searching is getting a sequel. Apparently, it was a $1 million budget. It made $75 million. Do the math. That's a pretty good profit.
Yeah.
The first one is really good. You loved it.
I loved the first. See no point in this.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Yeah, right. Can we just get an Alita sequel instead? That like is built for a sequel.
It is.
You know? Like
It's
there's these
almost
movies
like
that
there's
need sequels.
It's almost
that
like
don't-
there's a cliffhanger at the
right.
end.
Yeah. Well, there's movies that need sequels.
Yeah.
And then there's movies that are great on their own. And another one, I guess, would be what was the John Krasinski one with Emily Blunt?
A Quiet Place.
That really doesn't need a sequel.
No, it doesn't.
No, but it does a good, it does well. We have to have a sequel.
I'll be blown away if it's anywhere near as good as the first.
Okay.
On either of these movies.
Yeah, I would be shocked too. I would say they're both, this is me I'm going out on a limb.
Mm-hmm.
They're both going to be mediocre. Yeah. Even though I feel like sequels nowadays are a lot better than they used to be.
Yeah.
There has to be a true inspiration. If they had this idea going into it, maybe they've got something up their sleeve that I'll be unexpectedly surprised by. But,
I mean, I don't know how you can do Searching again other than just doing the whole missing daughter, missing child, whatever.
Sure.
Searching through the computer using only phones. I mean, but then you're just remaking the first. You're just tweaking the plot a little bit. So I don't see a point in this whatsoever.
Yeah, I think the way you do it is you do a completely different story. It's not John Cho and his family anymore. You do something completely different.
But even then, you're still just recreating.
Yeah,
it.
but you're using the same gimmick, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which is great. I don't mean to. Gimmick isn't necessarily a derogatory term.
No.
It worked great in the movie.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's the same thing though.
Right.
I don't know. We could talk about Disney is debating on. I don't know about this. They're debating on putting a PG-13 Deadpool out.
Like a film, a standalone film?
We don't know. They're struggling because they really want to combine him with the MCU, but they don't know how.
Okay.
So, I mean, the idea is we're still going to keep him rated R, but maybe he can come in for PG-13 movies and still have his rated R thing. Or maybe we can have like a one-off Deadpool movie that's a PG-13 thing or something. They don't seem to know what to do with him.
They need to just make another R-rated Deadpool. If they're going to continue Deadpool, the last one sucked anyway.
I feel like
they could stop making Deadpool for all I give a fuck.
I feel like we had two excellent pitches.
Yeah, that's right. The next Deadpool movie. So you folks at Disney, go back and take a listen. What did we have? We had Deadpool going around the MCU and like Star Wars and all that. And then what was yours again?
I thought that was mine.
Or wait, maybe that was yours. That was yours. I don't remember who had what idea on that, but they were both pretty good. If I remember correctly.
I mean, I would take those over like a straight, just sort of Deadpool, X-Force, third one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and if you guys are interested, go listen to the episode.
Yeah,
you can find it pretty easily.
It's pretty good if we can't remember it.
I think it's one of our most listened to episodes.
I mean, people love Deadpool. I would love to say it was because our ideas were great.
Yeah, well, who knows? I mean, you got to do something clever with him in the MCU, don't you?
Yes. Well, and you brought up the great point of like, it kind of breaks your universe a little bit.
Right.
That's a really good point. It's tough.
Right. So you just have to embrace it and do it as its own thing.
Yeah.
Oh, mine was he goes through the old MCU movies. Like you have a scene with Deadpool,
right?
And what's his name from the first Iron Man?
Yeah,
And yours, I think, was like him having to be censored as he exists in
as he starts,
which is great.
Yeah.
Then it's PG-13.
Yeah. So listen to that shit. It's pretty good. Let's see. Taika Waititi is apparently going to be doing a secret project for Fox Searchlight before he does Thor: Love and Thunder.
This makes me happy because my concern with him blowing up is that we weren't going to get his little amazing fucking nugget movies. His Hunt for the Wilder People or
his boys.
What was the one with the
What
vampires?
We Do in the Shadows?
Yeah, What We Do in the Shadows. Yeah. You got to have those.
Yes.
So maybe this is another one of those types of movies.
It's going to be great because I think it's almost like, so we got like 3 great ones out of him. And then there was, I think it was Jets and Sharks, and that was okay.
I don't think I saw that.
That one's okay. It's easily his worst movie, but it's still fine.
Okay.
But then we got Thor Ragnarok. Then we're gonna get 2 nice little nugget movies, as you like to call them.
Sure.
We got JoJo, and whatever this one is, and then we're gonna get another big ass thing.
Yeah.
So I'm happy with this
as long
balance.
as he's doing the nugget movies, I'm fine with
2 nuggets for every big one. I'm good. I think that's really about it.
All right.
So, are we just going straight into Drive?
I think, I mean, isn't that what we do? Do we remember the order of our show? I think that's what we do next.
That is what we do traditionally.
So you're a huge fan of this movie. Is this an A+? I'm assuming this is an A+.
This is an A+. Yeah.
Okay. So I saw it and I feel like I watched it last night, but it had been so long, it was almost like rewatching it for the first time.
Right.
It was one of those experiences for me. It's fucking almost perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a couple, there's one character thing in general that I found a little odd.
Okay.
We'll get into that in a minute. But that's just me nitpicking the fuck out of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I had forgotten how gory it was.
Oh, yeah.
It's amazing.
I love it.
Yeah. It's basically Ryan Gosling this is what he does. This is just a great Ryan Gosling role. He basically he's a replicant in this. He's like he basically played the Blade Runner 2049 type, very reserved.
Yeah.
Very doesn't even have much facial expression in this.
He's I would call him he's a damaged character who lives a violent life.
Right.
And kind of doesn't know how to function in real life.
Well, and they portray all that without telling you really why he's damaged.
Yes.
It's just clear.
Yes.
And it was funny because I'm watching it and I'm like, is Ryan Gosling really that good? Because I don't I can see this is a movie that I think should probably have been up for Best Picture or won Best Picture the year it came out.
Yeah.
I don't even need to look at a list of other movies from that year. I just know it's that good.
Yeah.
Do I think he would get a award for this? I would say no, I guess.
I'd say he's great at this, which is minimalist acting is what I would call it.
But then I thought about it, and I thought about The Nice Guys.
Oh, yeah.
And he's the fucking light of that movie, and he's wacky fucking, he's great in that.
I actually do think he has range.
Apparently he does.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think what was Crazy Stupid Love with him and Emma Stone? And,
yes.
Yeah. He played a little bit of a playboy in that.
Sure.
Different type of character. I think he's got range.
Yeah, it's weird though. He keeps getting cast because even in the First Man one this year, he was kind of that reserved.
Right. I thought he killed it in that movie though.
Clearly, that's what he is being.
Well, because he's really good at the slow change from one emotion to another on his face over a long shot. He's really good at that.
Yeah.
I think that's why he gets cast is because he can take you from he's actually pretty good with virtually no words.
Okay. Yep. I would agree. Now that's where I get into I'm surprised you're such a huge fan of this movie section of this discussion.
Oh, because why? Because
it's a bit pretentious.
It's what I would say is I think the thing that I love about the movie is that, and I thought it last night watching it.
Okay.
Is that every time I watch it, I come away with something a little different each time.
Sure. Okay.
And not many movies can do that for me. And I think I love the things it has to say, but it never it never goes out of its way to overtly say its messages or its meaning of scenes.
It doesn't even go out of its way to explain its like characters' motivations at all.
Yes.
It's just this is how it is. It's amazing storytelling because you're right. It's like exposition. There isn't much.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you're introduced to the character. He's getting set up for a job.
Yeah.
And he's explaining what he does on the job.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's all you really know about him.
And you get a little bit of like, there's establishment of like, he's going to be driving when there's a basketball game going on. You see that he's very quick with like, he doesn't care about the phone that he's on. He's in a hotel.
Sure. He's down to business.
He's down to business. He's clear. He's clinical. He's smart.
Yes.
Or at least smart at the things that he knows.
I would say he's smart.
He's and then you learn so much about him, just about how the way he handles that getaway sequence at the beginning, which I think is one of the most high tension chases I've ever seen. And there's actually there's no out of the car shots. Everything takes place inside the car.
It's claustrophobic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's not explosions. There's no gunfire. It's just, can you get away from the cops?
I had that thought last night in general about the movie, that they really ramped up the tension in a lot of parts. And it's funny because like, I can't really point to why I care about these characters, because it's like, you just know them without ever being told. And that's perfect storytelling to me. You didn't waste my time with junk that I didn't need.
Yeah.
Like clearly it didn't matter. It's simple.
It's a lean, efficient movie.
Very efficient.
And it's probably one of the best examples of show don't tell, because like you said, there's almost no exposition throughout the whole thing.
Yeah, it's great.
I mean, I feel like the most and the greatest thing is that you really don't get any of it from like the two main characters, really. From the wife or from, and I love the fact you never learn his name, the driver. He's just called the kid or driver.
Yep.
And that's it. All exposition really comes from, usually it's Bryan Cranston. Usually.
Well, there's that, but there's the only person I could think of that got a little exposition was, and they didn't even tell you like what he was in jail for. But the girls,
Oscar Isaac.
Yeah, Oscar Isaac's character.
Forgot to bring him up.
Right. He's in another tier from those other guys. Let's be real. Although Ron Perlman, he's kind of a B grade guy himself, but
you don't think Oscar Isaac is good?
I think he's good, but I don't think he's elevated himself to like the Bryan Cranston.
I think
you know what I'm saying.
I think that
he might be just as good, but it's not like his name doesn't need to be on the poster for this movie.
I think he's a great actor, but I don't think he's been given enough great material where he kind of shines.
Okay,
but I really
he
loved
was
him
good in
this.
that movie about the Israelis that go into South America or whatever and get that Nazi last year. I forget the name of it. With Ben Kingsley and shit. He was really good in that.
But this movie, what it did for me at the time was, and it still does for me, is I haven't seen a movie like this where you have a protagonist like this who doesn't speak, who really, you learn about them through their actions and through facial expressions, but that's about it. And I'd never really seen a movie where it has such a like immensely powerful, bittersweet ending.
I love the ending. Yeah.
And what this did for me, like musically, is I'd never heard this kind of like this synth wave.
The music is fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's
amazing.
It started a whole genre, really, or at least it brought it to the forefront of culture for a lot of people, like in our age range. There's lots of people. I would say it's probably lots of like emo kids who probably grew up on emo music, and then they found this, and they're like, "Oh, synthwave is the fucking shit." Yeah. But yeah, I love everything about this. It's so metaphorical in everything it does. I love the way the violence is handled. It's so incredibly gory.
Yeah, it's great.
But what I love about it the most is like it tells you about violence, and that violence is something that is quick and sudden and abrupt and kind of horrifying when it happens.
Sure.
And that's how it is every time something violent happens in this. It is quick, fast, and horrifying.
The whole movie's fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. The movie's fucking great. It's really goddamn good. Some of the shots in it are amazing.
Oh my God,
the soundtrack, the cinematography, yeah, the characters are all good, except for I don't buy Ron Perlman's character. He just bothers me in this.
But what is your grade? I mean, I am an A+.
My grade. I mean, I think I would probably give it an A+ too.
Okay.
I don't think it's not going to be in the pantheon of my favorite movies. But
sure.
There's little wrong with it. I'm surprised that I'm surprised that the relationship between Ryan Gosling and the girlfriend, I'm spacing on her name. I guess that's sexist of me. It's the only actress or actor in the movie I can't name.
Right.
But I know who she is. I'm surprised their relationship and their dialogue doesn't bother you a little bit.
The reason it doesn't bother me is because everything is so simple that you've been there. If you've liked a girl, or if you're a girl who's liked a guy, right? This is the bare bones minimum. This is what it is at its fucking core.
I understand that, but my problem with it, and I don't even think it's a problem for me. This is me judging you based on your previous. Mm-hmm. This is one of those, people don't talk to each other like this. She would think he was a fucking weirdo the way he acts. It's very pretentious feeling, but it's funny because what's interesting about it is basically him and her, or him in general, he's the only character that's really like that. Like if you look at Bryan Cranston's character,
normal.
Albert Brooks's character, everyone else in the movie is kind of normal. And she kind of falls in with him to that.
Yes, she does.
I think is great.
Yeah.
But I'm surprised that it, just knowing because I know there's shit like this, dialogue like this, and the slow kind of conversational scenes that you could have done in 5 seconds that take 30 seconds.
Yes.
That you do not like.
Yeah. It's because I feel it.
Okay.
I mean, it's really as simple as I can identify, I mean, I'm sorry, but if you're a guy and you look at how she's reacting to him and you're like, I don't get why you're saying.
Sure.
It's Ryan Gosling. He looks great in his fucking scorpion coat. If you were a lady, you'd be on him too.
Yeah, the ladies love those those fingerless
silk
gloves and the scorpion coat.
It's a good look for him. And you can tell why he likes her.
Yes. Okay.
And I mean, I like the fact that it's so clear what she represents to him. She represents the way out. She represents.
Yeah. He tries to get
life.
her to dip out with him at one point.
Yeah.
Or offers that up to her.
Yeah.
Now, one thing. Okay, this is my biggest nitpick, and you ready for this?
It's Carey Mulligan, by the way.
Carey Mulligan, folks.
She's great too.
She is really good in this. Okay, here's my nitpick. You ready for this?
Sure.
This is probably the most I've ever dug for a nitpick.
Okay.
This is like an Alex nitpick. This is a home at the movies level nitpick here.
Okay.
The part where he calls her and tells her basically he says you've given me a reason, or the time I spent with you is just the greatest thing to ever happen in my life. And I'm just sitting there and I'm like, was there part of this relationship that didn't happen on screen? Because, I mean, I get it. You've got a crush on her. It's like that, early lust, love, weird thing.
Yeah, yeah.
But at the same time, the greatest thing to ever happen in your life?
Well, like you said, we don't know his life.
I mean, I guess that's true, but I'm sitting there oh, come on. But then I just brushed that off in a second. Yeah. It was fine.
Right.
Because it fit in with the story. But there you go.
That's your little tiny nitpick?
Yeah, that's why it gets a 99.9%.
We're going to do spoilers now.
Sure.
For anybody who hasn't seen it. I think I love the scene where I love pretty much every scene.
Opening of the opening. I feel like we have to. I mean, it's fucking.
It's so
you brought
good.
it up earlier, but it is so good. The fucking sound of the car, the
minimalist music,
the look on his face. He's just you're immediately told what the rules are.
Yes.
The 5-minute window.
Yep.
All that shit is great.
I don't carry a gun.
Yes.
It's amazing.
Yes.
I love the camera angles. They do a lot of sort of the hero shots from inside the car looking up at him, which just makes it psychologically makes you go wow, this guy's really fucking competent
and you can
cool.
tell that the guys in the back seat think he's a badass.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, and then the way he shows up to the stadium, gets out right on time, and he just brushes past the cops. It's one of the slickest, coolest fucking things. And then boom, it just cuts to that fucking Night Call song. And you're like, this movie is fucking cool.
Yeah, it's amazingly good. It really is.
And then I love the scene. I think one of it's like one of the turning points in the movie is when that guy shows up in the elevator, and he's come there to kill her or him or whatever.
This is after the botched robbery and what's his name? Ron Perlman's trying to get him killed now.
Yeah, because I love that too from Albert Brooks about the whole like 2,000 heists in this city, and he has to choose the wrong one.
Right.
It's Albert Brooks is fucking great in this.
He's fucking awesome
because you can tell when he has to kill. When he has to kill him, Bryan Cranston, he's not happy about this.
No, but
he's really not.
He's like an old school Jewish gangster.
Yeah.
And he's got like kind of a stereotypical like Jewish way about him. Like he reminds me of a character that would be like in Curb or something. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But yeah, and he's played that character before a million fucking times.
Yeah.
He's fucking great. His eyebrows are gone.
They shaved his eyebrows, which I think goes a long way in kind of making him menacing.
Now, did they shave them or... Because I was thinking about that. I'm like, I don't remember Albert Brooks not having eyebrows.
I'm pretty sure they shaved them.
Okay. Well,
I watched some special features on it.
Yeah, it's weird. He's menacing, but he's Albert Brooks. So it's like... Yeah. Yeah, it takes you a minute to come around to that, but he's great at it.
But that elevator scene is it's so powerful because like you could look at it as like it could be one of two things, because right before that, he's trying to convince her to come with. And she kind of slaps him back to reality. He's like, no, fuck you. You got my husband killed, which he didn't. It's not his fault. He's put in a shitty situation. He
was trying to help.
Yeah. But when he goes and he kisses her and it kind of slows down, and I love the lighting changes, and it's just about those two in that moment. But you could see it as this is him saying goodbye to that life. This is it. This is whatever.
Right.
Or it could be a last ditch effort to make her stay interested.
Sure.
But then he goes fucking overboard and he smashes the dude's
and freaks
skull.
her the fuck out.
And that's the last time you see them together. That's it. It's over after that.
Understandably so.
And he can't, but the thing is like he can't not be who he is.
Right.
All he can try to do is be who he is in a moral way, which is exactly what he did at the end of the movie, which is why, a real hero comes on that song.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have had ideas of like, is the ending a dream? Did he really live or did he just die in that car? Because he got stabbed in the stomach.
I assume he died.
Okay.
That's my assumption.
And I assume he lived.
Okay.
I don't know why. But I like the fact that it's kind of like he didn't get to have the girl, but he got to find like the reason I like the idea that he lives is that there was almost like this. It seemed to me like he was walking into that ready to die, like almost thinking that dying was fine. And then when he didn't, it's like this sort of like, I found that I can live for myself kind of thing.
Yeah, you know what? I'm changing my mind.
Okay.
I think he lived because otherwise there's no reason to show that he left the money.
I suppose, yeah. I guess that's a very logical sort of reason why he lived.
Yeah, like to me, if he left the money, that's like although I guess he could have still driven off and died. It's still like, the character didn't care about the money. Yeah. But yeah, no, I'm going to say he lived. I'm going to say it could go either way, really. But
another great scene. We can just talk about the titty bar scene.
Yes, fantastic. Another violent, fun scene.
It's so great. And
the fact that the women just sit there.
They just sit there.
It's the best part of the scene.
And the fact that like there are boobs in the scene, and as a man, I'm like, I don't really care.
No.
Like there's some really cool shit happening here.
Now, if you were 13 years old.
Oh, Alex, 13, you're just going to be boobs right there. Yeah. This is a rare opportunity.
But you're right. They all are just sitting there.
And they don't even like, they aren't freaked out. They're just kind of like, business as usual, keep your head down. Like this, like the other, like that told me more about that dude than anything else up to that point in that movie. The guy that Ryan Gosling is beating the shit out of. Love the fact that he just beat him with a hammer. That was fucking great.
No, it was great. It was great. The bullet thing.
Yes. Oh, man. Well, that's the other thing, too. Is like he is everything like but distilled down. He's kind of like what men want to be. They want to be smart, strong. They want to be the provider. They want to be the protector. But he's also that to an extreme.
He's also socially awkward as fuck.
That too.
Like, yeah, the character is very interesting. He's a very intriguing main character.
Yeah.
And your protagonist is basically a monster. Yeah. I mean, he is.
Yeah. Well, he's a monster who doesn't want to be a monster anymore. That's why it's great.
But he can't get out of it.
But he can't get out of it. It's
not only is he just like drawn to it, but he also doesn't have like the social skills to like be able to live a normal life, you know?
Well, there's a quick little scene in the grocery store where he sees Carey Mulligan and the kid, and he just turns around and goes to the other. He doesn't want to,
yeah. Well, and then the weird ass scene like with the husband in the hallway when
that's some of the best
awkward
shit.
It's amazing.
When he's just like,
he just stands there like, yeah,
I've been helping out. Yeah. I hear you drive for the movies. I love the fact. I think one of my favorite things is, so Oscar Isaac is going taking out the trash with his son. And then he comes back in and Ryan Gosling has gone to the elevator, and Oscar Isaac just walks by and he goes like, have a good night. And it's just so clearly the thinliest of veiled fuck yous.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
It's so, that's why I look at this movie. I'm like, it's a tour de force in acting too. Like everybody's acting so well because everything has multiple layers.
I would agree.
I love it because I love movies that I can watch over and over again. And like I said, every time I watch it, I get something new out of it.
You feel like you got something new. Yeah. Yeah. I told the wife, I asked the wife if she's ever seen it, and she doesn't think she's seen it. So I'm going to watch it again pretty soon here, I think.
It's so unbelievable.
It
is so
really good. I can't hate on this pick as a favorite of yours.
It's one of those movies, going back to our sequel talk, it's one that I would love a sequel to, but I know for a fact there's no way it could be as good.
You can't make a sequel to this.
No, and I know that, but I just want more of what I have.
Like the sequel where they end up together.
Right.
Well, they journey across the country or something.
The thought I had was like you could have him just, he's kind of like he's almost like a samurai or like a wandering Ronin or like the wandering cowboy kind of character.
He ends up in different towns, and every time he gets dragged into some random situation. Yeah. Sure,
you could do it. It just wouldn't be as good.
No,
but
you shouldn't do it
because this is like perfect. I would basically say this is a perfect movie.
Is this a perfect movie? Is this in like that class of perfect movies for you?
I think I've seen it about probably 8 or 9 times now. And I would say it fits into perfect for me.
I can't argue with that.
Ron Perlman. You said you just have a problem with him.
He just bothers me in this. I don't know. There's just something I'm not buying about his character in this. Like, he seems really stupid. Like, that's one part of the plot that, like, okay, I get it. You've set up a situation where you have an off the rocker bad guy who has to kill him to protect whatever. But it's like some of the stuff is like, but really? Like, you don't seem like a complete dumbass. Like, why would you even fuck around with this? Like, it's not like this guy is fucking Scarface in a fucking mansion somewhere with bodyguards everywhere. He's got one little driver who like takes him from the pizza place. This is when Ron Perlman dies.
Yeah.
And it's like, really? You fucking, obviously this guy that you're putting hits out on, that knows you're putting hits out on him, is a fucking badass. And your character's just dumb. And
that's why I like him though, is like there are just dumb gangsters who are just up there because they're violent.
I don't know, man. Like, I don't know.
The way I look at it is like he's not the brains of the operation. Like, clearly it's him and Albert Brooks. And
Albert Brooks is the brain.
Yes.
Sure. Okay.
I mean, when you let Ron Perlman off the leash, this is exactly what would happen.
I mean, I guess that's fine. There is one great fucking scene with him though, when he gives the nod to Albert Brooks to kill the bald dude in the pizza joint.
Oh, it's great.
So good.
I watching it again last night, I was like, I actually really kind of love Ron Perlman in this because you need that kind of character. He provides a flavor that is not there otherwise, which is like the boisterous, over the top guy, fine ass motherfucking pussy mobile. Like there's no guy like that, but the guys like that exist.
Yeah, but I don't buy him as the top dog in the operation, I guess.
Well, he's not the top dog. It's Albert Brooks.
Well, yeah, and Albert Brooks would have shut this shit down, I feel like.
Well, it's what he did once he found out.
Yeah, I suppose. I don't know.
You're just not a fan.
I'm not. No, I don't like the character. I think he's a dumbass and he's annoying. And I've seen him play this character the right way in Sons of Anarchy, where he's very foolhardy, I guess would be. He makes stupid, rash decisions, but at least there's like some level of logic to what he's doing. In this, I don't know. I just didn't. And I'm a Ron Perlman guy. I like Ron Perlman. I mean, this is a nitpick,
right?
Completely, because nobody's terrible in this.
The two scenes that I really love him in are I love the scene where he's basically justifying why he took money from the East Coast mob. He's talking about like this family. He's like, they fucking still pinch me on my cheek like I'm a fucking kid. And the whole like they call him, racial slur for Jewish. Insert that here. They still call him that to his face, and I'm like, okay, I kind of get your rage and sort of like the impetus for why this is happening. That, and I love the scene where he shows up and he's just to Bryan Cranston. He's like, how's the fucking leg? Like clearly he's the one.
Yeah, right.
Or at least had a hand in that.
Yeah, he's an immature douchebag.
He is.
Yeah.
He is. You're meant to hate him, and I do not like him, but in a good way.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, I love this movie. I love everything about it.
It's really good, man. It's a top-notch fucking movie.
And I'll tell you this.
It's best movie of the last 10 years?
I don't know. That's such a hard thing to... I mean, it's
got to be one of your top, like, 3 or 5 or something.
I mean, it's... I love too many movies. It's very... I don't like... I would put it in my top 5. And I guess by default, that would probably mean that it's better than a lot of the shit that came out in the last 10.
Now, is it... Okay, here, I'm going to put you to the test for our listeners. You have to have one movie. Okay. Is it Drive or is it Endgame?
Ooh, that's tough. Because they both give me the feels. It's just that I think Drive cuts to the core of who I am.
Okay. I think Drive is probably a better movie. But could you give up that Endgame to know?
Probably not.
No. Yeah.
Good thing I don't have to.
Right. Son of a bitch. Yeah, this is up there. Even for me, I can't deny it's up there. I've got like Prisoners is one of my favorites of the last really 10 years.
One.
Yeah. John Carter is one of my favorites of the last 10 years. Laugh it up. Laugh it up. It is.
It's one of those movies that's so good, it doesn't need a sequel.
Fuck off. No, right. Exactly. Son of a bitch. Instead, we're getting the Searching sequel, which... How many people left Searching going like, man,
where does this go?
There's a sequel to this.
What's going to happen next?
God damn, it's disgusting.
It is pretty bad.
I don't think we have the Chinese to blame for this one, though, do we?
No,
this was probably domestic hit for Searching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, yeah.
Drive is great. I don't know if we have much more to say about it. I think we're probably pretty good on it.
I probably could keep going.
Yeah, sure.
But I won't, because I don't know if people actually want to hear me just gush about a movie that I love.
It's kind of disgusting.
It is, yeah. Too much goo on the table. But
I do accept your explanation, though. It's a logical explanation. When I asked you, I do want to point out that I do accept that explanation of why does the soft, boring, quote unquote, pretentious kind of dialogue scenes in this not bother you, where I know they've bothered you in other movies.
Right.
That was a good explanation. It works in this movie.
It's so, to me, I look at it, I'm like, this is kind of a universal movie. Like, I feel like you could probably show this to somebody who's never seen a movie in, like, I don't know, a third world country, and they could probably get it.
Okay. Yeah, you're probably right. Why wouldn't they? Fuck, it's super simple. It gets right to the point, cuts to the chase.
But it's universal in its themes.
Right.
I love it. I just fucking love it.
But anyways, what do we got? Shit we watched?
Whoa. Shit we watched. Shit we watched.
Okay, what do you got? Anything this week?
Yeah, I do have some things.
Okay.
So I watched, and I don't even know if I should bother reviewing this, but I fell asleep.
Okay.
I was watching Clash of the Titans.
The Sam Worthington one.
Sam Worthington.
Oh, this one was just a treat, wasn't it?
It was so bad.
Oh my goodness.
It really just sort of cements like why Sam Worthington is nowhere to be seen.
I'm surprised that Mads Mikkelsen.
Yeah, I've never seen such a stacked
careers.
cast. I mean, I was watching it. I was like, did they really just cast Voldemort to play Voldemort again?
Ray Fiennes, yeah.
Ray Fiennes,
yeah, pretty much.
He's Hades. He's Voldemort. He's doing the exact same voice. It's got a goddamn Qui-Gon. Why am I blanking? Liam Neeson. It's got Liam Neeson. Got such a stacked cast. I mean, other than Sam Worthington.
Yeah, but at the time he was coming off Avatar.
I know. I think we all should have known better.
Yeah. That movie stunk. Yeah. That movie stunk big time.
Yeah.
I can still remember Mads Mikkelsen has a line in that where he's like, "You must protect them, Perseus," or something. And it's just the way it's delivered. The whole movie was a fucking joke. It's terrible.
There's this bit where, and I'm assuming it's from the 80s original. I'd never seen that, but like they pull out like this robotic owl thing at like they're all putting their armor on to go on to this journey, which they just like accept Perseus in for no fucking reason. They're just like, oh, you're the son of Zeus. Come on this mission with us. We don't know if you have superpowers or not, but come on.
Yeah.
But he just like picks up this robotic owl and he's like, oh, what's this thing? And there's a part of me that's like, oh, it's a reference to a movie, but it has no place in this movie, but they figure throw it in.
You're probably right.
And he just throws it down and I'm like, well, that was fucking stupid.
You're right.
It's a really bad movie.
I mean, it's so bad that years later I watched Wrath of the Titans.
Ooh.
This movie got a fucking sequel. This is the world we live in.
Yeah.
I watched Wrath of the Titans, also terrible, but I think it was better. If I remember correctly, it was better than Clash of the Titans.
Really would not be too hard. It really wouldn't.
Although it could have been an expectation thing too. You know how those damn expectations. Like I didn't expect Clash of the Titans to be like a 100% utter disaster when I saw it when it came out.
I knew it wasn't going to be good, but I was not expecting it to be that bad.
It's terrible. But yes, continue. Anything else?
I saw Smart People. It's got Thomas Hayden Church in it.
Like him.
Ellen Page, Dennis Quaid, Sarah Jessica Parker.
Okay.
I think that's kind of the main cast. Roy from The Office.
Okay. He's good, actually.
He is good.
So do you, is it good? What's it about? It's about smart people?
It's about a college professor who has a dead wife. Ellen Page is his daughter.
Okay.
She's just going to be graduating high school. They are tremendously pretentious people. And Dennis Quaid gets his car towed. He's trying to get in, falls down, has a concussion, goes to the hospital. Sarah Jessica Parker is a former student. Since he has a concussion in the state he lives in, he's not allowed to drive for 6 months. Thomas Hayden Church also happens to be his stepbrother, or adopted brother, I believe. And he happened to be in town anyways because he's poor as fuck and he's kind of that kind of guy.
So it's like the odd couple type deal.
Yes. Okay. And he has to drive him around. And it's kind of about Dennis Quaid sort of learning to love again. And it was fine. It was pretty good. Ellen Page plays a young Republican.
Oh boy, she probably had fun doing that.
And it was kind of funny, but I didn't really think that they like really ripped on Republicans too much.
Okay.
I was like, oh, she's just really focused on her future and her career, which is like good for you. But I mean, she also has to stick up her.
They focused on like the one good quality of Republicans, would you say?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Not the Democrats.
I mean, it's the one good quality. Yeah. I actually really enjoyed it. It's a fine movie. It's like a B.
Okay.
It's a B minus.
Wow.
I enjoyed the dialogue. Some of it's a little overly written. I could tell that somebody was clearly an English major who wrote it and really thinks that they're kind of hot shit about some stuff. But also maybe somebody told them like, hey, you're kind of pretentious, so maybe make one of your characters pretentious so you can kind of like...
Covers it up.
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly. So I enjoyed it though. I had a decent time.
All right. Anything else, or is that your list? We'll burn through all yours quick.
I started watching. Remember that Joel McHale had a show for a while? He kind of did like a clip show.
Yeah, right.
So it's on Netflix now. I watched it. It really made me realize like Joel McHale, the writers on his show are just terrible. The jokes are fucking atrocious. Now the clips are fine. It's like just doing a YouTube search.
But the tweener parts where he's...
Yeah, oh man, it's terrible. The director of that Ghost in the Shell, I was going to say, Ghostbusters remake.
Paul Feig,
he keeps showing up. I think it's a bit from the original series. It's not funny. There's some really not funny shit in it. But the clips are nice.
I mean, Paul Feig is a comedic genius, though.
He's really not.
I mean, let's be real. There was a trailer that just got released for a movie that's going to be from him with like Emma Watson and Florence Pugh, Little Women or something, Meryl Streep, all these ladies. And it's like, God damn, you're going to take all these people. It's going to be bad. Watch.
These incredibly talented actors, and it's going to be just nothing.
Isn't that terrible? I thought Bridesmaids was good.
Yeah, I think Bridesmaids is by head and shoulders above everything else he's made.
That is his name, right? Paul Feig. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Everybody gets
Kevin Feige, Paul Feig.
Exactly. I was just going to say, everybody gets them a little confused. One's actually like influential and important, and the other is not.
The other decided to try and destroy one of the most beloved movies of all time.
I wouldn't say destroy. He just made a really shitty remake, and it was marketed terribly. Why are you telling people it's a sequel when it's not? Why did you do that?
Because I haven't seen it. I refuse to watch it.
It's so terrible. It's not funny. It's a
reboot / remake / something.
It's just a remake.
Oh God.
But it's the comedy's not good. I'll just say that. The comedy's not good. I guess you could maybe say some of it's fine, but anyways, what did you watch? I know you had some experiences this weekend.
So I guess first off, I will start by saying that I finished The Boys, and I'm going to hold off on a deep review because I'm assuming you're going to watch this.
I will.
And I really, by the end of it,
you dug the shit out of it?
Yeah. I'm in, yeah. I mean, there's just too much cool shit in here for me to not like this.
Sure.
There's tons of cool shit. I'm not going to get into it because I don't want to spoil it for you or the listeners. If you haven't watched it, if you're a fan of superheroes, if you hate superheroes, if you think they're stupid, this bridges the gap. This brings those people together. I would say.
Okay.
I would say. Because like the person who hates superheroes thinks it's all dumb can watch this and be like, like, yeah, this is how it would be or something.
You fucking
fucking
Pollyanna
nerds.
motherfuckers.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah, those assholes. But yes, that was great. Slipknot released a new album.
Yeah.
And it's the best thing they've done in almost 20 years.
Wow.
Since Iowa, which was their second album.
Wow, that is one hell of a statement.
It's masterfully put together.
And you're a Slipknot fan.
I'm a huge Slipknot fan.
No. Is the sheen too shiny? Is it too new? Do you think?
No.
What I'm asking, do you think that there's a chance that in a year or so you're going to place it a little lower on the list?
I understood what you were saying.
Okay,
no,
right.
There's not a chance of that.
Okay.
This is like, okay, so the first two albums were like these brutal fucking albums. The third one, they kind of went a little more mainstream. The fourth one, they went way too far mainstream.
Right.
And the fifth one was all about after Paul Gray, their bassist, died, them like, can we even do this anymore? Mm-hmm. Had some kind of cheesy lyrics. This one is like, everything from those first 3 albums is represented here. It's mixed together in such a way, like there's some like volume 3, which is one of the like the third album. There's some volume 3 sounding singing, but then the screaming sounds like it did in like Iowa or something. They've got those, because Slipknot used to have these interlude tracks that were just like these dirty, mysterious, you know, like at the end of a song, they'd tack on a minute of like weird sound. Like, so the sampler is getting involved and the DJ is getting involved. And there's like some weirdness in it. It's got that. It really is one of those albums where if you're listening to random songs, it doesn't do it justice. It's like a journey from point A to point B, and it flows.
I love those.
Which the last 3 they've done are not that at all. They all feel almost like greatest hits, like at records. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
This one has like a story. It goes fucking, you'll have one song that's brutal, then he's singing in the next song. All the lyrics are really good. I can't say enough. My favorite thing about this, I think, is that there's only, and I could be wrong, I've listened to it about 20 times, but I could be wrong, but I only could point out one like straight up guitar solo on this.
Oh.
Which, that's another thing. They never used to do guitar solos.
Yeah.
And then 3, 4, and 5, they've got a bunch of guitar solos. That to me is not Slipknot.
Right.
That's my opinion.
Sure.
I like just get to the point. I just want to hear basic fucking heavy shit.
Yeah.
Corey Taylor sounds great. Apparently he quit smoking and he had a divorce. So he's really depressed and pissed. And his voice sounds better. So I'm ecstatic. But then I went and saw them Sunday night.
Yes.
And it was terrible. No,
Oh,
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, it was great.
Oh, you really had me going.
Yeah, I mean, it was great though. Fuck. It was a weird show. They had opening for them was Behemoth, which is like this Norwegian satanic. Like,
I've heard of them.
Okay, yeah, really fucking weird. But I think they take it a little too seriously. They're not like ghost satanic where it's like tongue in cheek. Like, I think they're legit.
Yeah. Didn't they like, isn't one of their bassist is dead or something? And one of them used like the, like part of like a skull like bit as a pick.
Sounds great. That's the coolest thing about them.
Yeah, it's probably. I mean, were they decent live?
They were decent. Yeah, I've seen them before. I'm not like super into them, but then there was this band Gojira from France. They're fucking great. And then there was Volbeat, which I felt like was completely out of place here because they're kind of the, you know, they're like,
I was going to say, I know Volbeat.
They're not metal, really. No. So they were weird to have up there.
Volbeat would be up, like they'd be fine at like a Stained concert.
Sure. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah. So Volbeat was the second band, or, you know, the undercard, you know, and then it was Slipknot. Slipknot just blew it out of the water with Volbeat. And you had people walking, like looking at Volbeat, like, what the fuck? But I guess it's a way to like, you know, because Slipknot, I mean, like it or not, they're mainstream at this point.
They are.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you throw a pepper in some satanic, really overboard shit. And then,
I saw them like, God, I saw them like 8 years ago, thereabouts, when they came to Madison. Coheed came with them.
Okay.
And I saw both, and I was like, I love Coheed, but they don't belong at this concert. Like,
Volbeat probably is lower, like, as far as fitting in.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Volbeat and Coheed. There's a tour that kind of makes more sense, I guess.
Coheed's got a lot more talent. But anyways.
But they wouldn't. They wouldn't headline with Volbeat.
No, they wouldn't.
That's the world we live in.
That is the world we live in.
Yeah. But anyway, so that was great. So it's been a great week. What's funny is I went into the album, I had like read on Reddit that it had leaked, and people were saying like, oh, like there's people saying it's their best album, which I don't agree with personally. Right. I can't tell them they're wrong because from like a technicality perspective and some of the balls that they showed, like they showed some serious balls on this record. So yeah, it's great. I think it's a little hyperbole to say it's better than the first album or Iowa, but I had to go ahead and listen to it early because I said to myself, I've already pre-ordered a special edition of this.
Right.
I bought concert tickets. I'm not the problem here. I'm going to go ahead and cheat and listen to this. So
there he is, FBI.
Yeah,
get him.
Yeah, get me. Yeah. But anyway, so it's fucking great. I do have a bitch fest though. I pre-ordered this fucking album months ago, direct from Slipknot's website. I got like a fucking like bundle package with a t-shirt and shit. Mm-hmm. It just shipped today. The album came out last Friday. Like, that pisses me off.
Why would it?
So, like, if I pre-ordered it on Amazon, I would have gotten it the day it came out. If I went to the record store, I would have gotten it. I did get a digital copy sent to me, but
that's still kind of bullshit.
I want the product, right?
Right.
Do you agree?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's bullshit. So, fuck you guys.
That is pretty
fuck
bullshit.
You.
Yeah, that's no good. Let me ask you this. I've been thinking this the whole time you've been, loving on this album. And I've been thinking about this for rock in general for a while.
Sure.
Rock as a genre, really, it hit huge in the early 2000s.
Yes, like the new metal.
The new metal really blew up. And then it's just died down and it's kind of felt samey for a while.
I would agree.
And it's not really hit the same heights, at least culturally, that it hit before.
I would agree.
Do you think that this has a chance to bring metal back into like the zeitgeist?
So I think the problem with this, and it is apparently going to hit, it's going to debut at #1 on Billboard. So that's one thing. But I think the problem is we're depending too heavily on these bands from 20 years ago. I mean, I was thinking about I went to that System of a Down show.
Yeah.
It's like you got to put System of a Down and Tool as the fucking headliners for your festival. Like nobody went there to see anything new except for Ghost. They were there.
Right.
So there were a lot of Ghost fans but like Ghost isn't about to fill football stadiums or arenas or any like completely sell out arenas right now.
Right.
So my worry is once these guys are gone, because they can't last forever, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, I guess you still have like Iron Maiden out there performing and shit. But once they're all gone, like who's going to take their place and be able to sell out big venues? And I don't see anything on the horizon. And I think maybe it's just because of how the industry has changed.
I was going to ask you, do you think it's due to sort of the fracturing of audiences at this point or listeners? Like, is selling out football stadiums, is that required now? Is that going to be the new norm, or is going to be selling out 2,000 seats the new norm?
I think it's going to be the smaller venues, I guess. I mean, like Metallica sells out a football stadium, but nobody else can do that.
Do you think it's going to be just for rock, or do you think it's going to be like all genres are eventually going to reach, that point where they're more niche?
I mean, I think rock is an interesting one because it's not like, you're not like people aren't hearing it every day like they are this like fucking Old Town Road song or God. You know what I'm saying? Like
I fucking hate
it's
that
weird
song.
And it's like the industry right now isn't designed in such a way where you're going out and like you're looking through CDs and you see a cool record with some great cover on it from some band that looks like a metal band. You pick it up, you listen to the whole thing. Now it's like, okay, I have Spotify and I click this button and it just plays a bunch of shit
that sounds like
maybe
the shit
I'll
that
find
I like.
One song that I like, but that isn't necessarily going to draw me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's different. And
it's very true. I listen to Spotify, I listen to SoundCloud, and I do it on YouTube. And I feel like I'm lucky if I find like a song out of every like 20 that I'm like, all right, I'll see what these people have.
Oh yeah, that's very rare. Sometimes you just listen to the song itself a few times and then you just forget about it.
Yes. Yeah. We could always rely on baby metal.
Oh, gee. Good old baby metal.
Have you heard?
Yes.
I kind of love baby metal.
Yes.
I just found out about them like a month ago. And it's
they're gonna take over.
They're gonna be the new Metallica.
But yeah, we need, and Tobias Forge, who is Cardinal Copia from Ghost, has talked about how it is necessary. Someone needs to fill the shoes of all of these people who are leaving because they're not gonna last forever.
Yep. And what needs to be done is you look at like what Slipknot brought to the table as far as a band, and you look at everything that happened in the early 2000s. A lot of the bands that were influential brought something new.
Right. Yeah, I would agree.
We need that, because really it's basically been, how can I copy the big bands?
Sure.
For the last 15 years.
Yeah.
And that needs to stop.
Well, it's funny, like JJO, like the Shine Down type shit, like that stuff. To me, I can't differentiate. Like Volbeat, like is another one.
Yep.
I don't know what this is.
I don't know who you are.
Yeah, right.
You're every gravelly voiced singer.
Yes.
Right. I'm sad. That's about it.
No, you're totally, that's the truth. But yeah, that's enough on Music Corner, I guess. Yeah. I went and saw Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
Oh, how was that?
It was fine. It was, okay, so the movie, basically, if you don't know what Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark was, it was like a collection of short stories in a book form that kids would read. It was kind of like the introduction to horror for kids.
Yeah.
So they decided to do the like Goosebumps thing. This is what I understand they did in the Goosebumps movie anyway. Like
they're all happening.
They're all happening, and there's a story that kind of ties everything together.
Sure.
I would have gone the Creepshow Twilight Zone route, where you release like an anthology film that's 4 separate movies. Because the problem I had with this was, like, all the acting was fine. The characters were fine. My problem with the movie was the actual scary stories portions of it, which is what I'm interested in, are too short. There's not enough build up. Like, all of a sudden they're looking in the book and the story starts being like written automatically in the book. But it's like, this would have been more neat if there was like some backstory to this. There was like I had a feel for what this short story is actually about.
I can actually see, like, I'm picturing what you're talking about, like an anthology.
Yeah.
Like maybe you could even do like the whole, like almost old storybook, like the old Disney movies where they would start by opening that. But it's like this fucked up book. And then you kind of like.
Yeah, you could literally have one scene at the beginning. I mean, there's a couple movies like that. There's a movie called Tales from the Dark Side, where this kid is like, there is a little story that branches them all together, but it's not the movie. The movie is about the separate scary stories.
Right.
So that's how I would have done it. The creature effects are fucking great in this.
Okay.
Guillermo was involved, so that doesn't surprise me at all.
Okay.
It's a C movie. If I was like a 12-year-old kid, I'd probably think it was great.
Right.
It's very much a teen movie.
You could tell from the trailers.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not the target audience for this.
Well, I was interested in this because I was like, wow, it looks quite disturbing for that. Because there's a couple parts in this where I'm like, Jesus, like, this is PG-13. Like, this is disturbing, like nightmare fuel shit, We
are getting to the point, though, where horror is hitting such a mainstream sort of level where I feel like we're willing to see more of it in a PG-13.
You might be right. Well, but then at the same time, like, Jaws was like PG or something.
Yeah. Well, that's,
you know what I mean? Like,
that's different times,
I guess. Yeah, I mean, would I recommend this? Sure. I mean, I had some fun with it, but is it great? No.
I think Gremlins is like a G movie.
Gremlins is way better than this. Gremlins is great.
Just bring up the rating,
But you bring up a good point. Like, that's a movie that's kind of horrorish, but horrorish.
It's definitely
really
horrorish.
A slut.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's kind of horror-esque.
Yeah. But it's got some. They shove one in a microwave. I mean, that's a little violent.
It's great though.
It's a great.
You know
movie.
what I mean? It's a great movie for all ages. This one is more. You have to be in that target audience to really appreciate it. But the characters were good, I guess. I mean, I didn't hate it. Nobody was like pissing me off or annoying the fuck out of me in it.
Glowing review.
But you know what? It was really apparent, like, you're sitting there like, come on, when's the next scary story part? You know what I mean? Like, checking, fucking, I want the scarecrow or the, I will say the scarecrow part, the scarecrow story at the beginning. That's the first scary story in the movie. And that's the one that's most fleshed out. And it's by far the best one.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So There you have it.
There you
Scary
go.
stories. Anything else from me? No, nothing.
Oh, I forgot. I watched Return of the King.
Okay.
Just threw it on.
Yeah, and? Okay, because you watched Two Towers last week, right?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
I did. The series actually does it gets a little worse with each movie.
Oh, really?
I think Return of the King. When I watched it, I was like, I cannot believe they gave Oscars to this one and they didn't give it to Fellowship.
See, I always thought that was the best one, Return of the King.
Really?
Yes. Having read the books, first one is the best as far as staying on target with what is in the books.
I think it's got the best standard sort of hero's journey tale. Also.
You're probably right. The ending is just all the Sam and Frodo stuff in all the movies, in my opinion, is the best stuff.
I would say the ending to Return of the King is better than a lot of the rest of the movie.
Okay.
Because when you think about how much is in that movie is fucking stuffed.
Yes, there's a lot of shit in it.
There's so much. I mean, we meet Faramir, and he takes Frodo, and then he goes home, and then he goes on a battle, and then he comes back injured.
We didn't meet Faramir in the second one?
I don't think we did. Maybe
we did. Are you
we
fucking serious? I'm so I need to rewatch those. Apparently,
I should not have watched them so close together.
Well, because
now they're bleeding together.
Yeah, well, I remember Shelob in the second one, Two Towers. Shelob the spider.
Right.
I was sitting there at the end of the second one, like it was one of those. It was like one of those episodes in that Seinfeld episode where they're not going to be able to finish this. This is going to be a to be continued.
Yeah.
Like we're not going to get to Shelob. Oh my God, it's been 3 hours and 10 minutes, and they still haven't shown. Yeah. And then that's how the third one starts, if I remember correctly.
He's
Faramir at that point, I think, has shown up, but I could be wrong.
Maybe no, you're right. He did. He showed up. Yep, you're right. But Jesus Christ, there's just too much in this.
There's so much shit.
And
then there's not enough shit in the Hobbit movies.
Oh my God.
Then they're creating bullshit to fill the Hobbit.
The Hobbit movies
That's
are so
the exact
garbage.
Opposite problem.
It's amazing that they're even linked in any way. Peter Jackson just he George Lucas the whole thing.
No, they're not that bad.
I hated them so much. I don't think I've seen the third one yet. I'm not sure.
When I went and saw the third one in the theater, I went by myself. Mm-hmm. It started and I had no fucking idea what was going on. None. If you watched that right now, you'd be like, what the fuck is going on?
I know that they wanted gold and...
They're in a cave of gold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Smog.
Smog is destroying the city.
He destroyed the city.
Bunch of CGI stuff.
Those movies are so bad. They're unbelievably bad. But yeah, I still think The Return of the King is a really good movie. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, they're all great. The original trilogy is quite an achievement, I would say.
It is.
Yes.
It's a mainstay of pop culture.
Right.
But that's the end. We've reached the end of our fellowship.
Oh, yeah. This is the last episode?
This is the last episode.
All right. Well, hey, I've been Jackson. It's been really wonderful doing this show for the last year.
And I've been home at the movies, and this has been hell on earth.